Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 24th, 2023 regular meeting of the Kern County Planning Commission. We'll now call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Ashley?
Here.
Commissioner Dunbar?
Here.
Commissioner Oliver?
Here.
Commissioner Skidmore? Here. Mr. Murphy?
Here.
Mr. Hall?
Here.
Ms. Simon? Here.
Thank you very much. Okay, our first item is going to be commission member announcements or reports. Anything that falls into that category? Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the August 10th, 2023 meeting. I think that's all in
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is not cases withdrawn because we have none. So we'll go directly to the consent agenda. Mr. Murphy, you would cover that for us, please.
I will. Thank you, Chairman Ashley, members of the commission. So these are items scheduled before your commission, which are being recommended for approval by staff. The applicant has been informed of any special condition and has no objection. The hearing on these items may be expedited if no member of the commission or audiences wishes to comment or ask any questions on the case. I would note that we have 4 cases on the consent calendar. However, I do know that we have some members in the audience that want to speak on case number 5. So staff is going to recommend that case 5 be pulled and heard in its regular order, leaving us with 3 items on the consent calendar. The first item is case number 1. This is zone change case number 26, map 4230. Zone change case number 4, map 4231. Our applicant is Catherine Watson by Nelm Surveying, Inc. This project is located south side of Highway 178, approximately 950 feet west of Goat Ranch Road in the Lake Isabella area. The request before your commission is a change in zone classification from E20 to E20 RS, or a more restrictive district, on approximately 193.95 acre portion of a 340 acre parcel. The staff recommendation is to advise your commission to recommend the Board of Supervisors to adopt resolution and enact ordinance approving the zone change as requested. The next case on consent this evening is case number 2. This is CUP number 22, map 23016. Our applicant is Matthew McCormick by Kenton Brown. This project is located on the north side of Rosamond Boulevard, approximately 200 feet east of Lincoln Street, again in the Rosamond area. The request before your commission is a conditional use permit to construct a 2,111 square foot single family dwelling, all on an approximately 6,252 square foot parcel that is zoned C2. The staff recommendation is to approve the conditional use permit in accordance with the recommended conditions and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the attached draft resolution. The final case on consent this evening would be case number 3 then. That is Ag Preserve number 5 inclusion within map number 29. Our applicant is Star and Star Cotton Growers LP by Jay Croker. This project is located at the Interstate 5 and Lost Hills Road. The specific request is to include approximately 480 acres within the boundaries of Ag Preserve number 5. The staff recommendation is to advise your commission to recommend the Board of Supervisors to approve the inclusion of approximately 478.18 acres into the boundaries of Ag Preserve number 5 as requested and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the draft resolution. That completes the reading of the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Okay, are there any members of the public who would like to pull any of these cases from the consent agenda to be heard in their regular order? Okay, seeing none. Any member of the commission? Seeing none, I would entertain a vote.
I'll make a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
4 ayes, 1 vacant. Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So are there, I believe, rights to appeal on at least one of these?
There are, Mr. Chairman. For case number 2, there isn't a right to appeal. So for projects where your commission's action is final, those actions are subject to an appeal to the Board of Supervisors by any interested person, and no development proposed by any application may be authorized until after the final date of appeal. That appeal can be filed at the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department, located at 2700 M Suite, Suite 100 in Bakersfield, with a filing of $540 on forms we have available at the department and on our website. The filing must be made within 14 days of and including the date of today's hearing. If no appeal is received, the action of your commission is final.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Okay, next item on our agenda is public presentations. This portion of our agenda is reserved for persons desiring to address the commission on any matter over which we have jurisdiction. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. Anyone have a presentation to make this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Our next item on the agenda is our public hearings for new cases. Mr. Murphy, I think we're on case number 4.
We are, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I actually will turn that over to Ms. Ann-Jeanette Simon, who will introduce the staff that will be making today's presentation.
Thank you very much. Ms. Simon?
Thank you, Mr. Murphy, and good evening, Chairman Ashley and Commissioners. I would like to introduce you to Ms. Sarah Eichenhorst. She is Planner 3 who diligently worked on this project to bring this before you for consideration.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Good evening, Chairman Ashley and Commissioners. The proposal is for a conditional use permit to authorize the development of an approximate 5,090 square foot automated car wash with 30 associated vacuum stalls and an approximate 393 square foot sales office building. Development would include proposed advanced blower and vacuum systems on site. Details of the proposed systems are included in the acoustical study attached to the staff report. The project site is located on the southeast side of Allen Road, across from the intersection of Merlot Drive and Allen Road, south of Rosedale Highway in the Rosedale area. The project site consists of an approximate 2.04 acre vacant commercial parcel designated UER, Urban Estate Residential, by the Western Rosedale Specific Plan and is zoned C1 PD, Neighborhood Commercial, Precise Development Combining District. Surrounding parcels are developed with single-family dwellings, accessory structures, mixed storage, a church, and condos on the west side of Allen Road in the incorporated area of the city of Bakersfield. Historically, the site had 2 previous approvals for a restaurant with associated gift shop and a small office, restaurant, and detached storage unit approved in 2015 and 2019, respectively, both of which were never developed and subsequently expired due to non-development. More details of the history of the site have been included in the staff report. During the case notification period, staff received 13 comment letters, including 7 comment letters from surrounding neighborhood residents with concerns about the proposal. Concerns raised included increased noise levels, additional traffic impacts, environmental impacts, mosquito population increase, and the existence of a car wash facility on Rosedale Highway. Staff has included detailed responses to the concerns within the staff report. However, a summary of the responses are as follows. To address the noise levels, the applicant has designed the project to have the exit tunnel face west towards Allen Road, away from residential development. The applicant is proposing to use an advanced blower system with thick acoustical liner. This, along with noise-reducing vacuums, would reduce noise emission down to approximately 45 to 55 decibels, as detailed in the acoustical study provided within the staff report, and is outlined in the recommended conditions of approval, specifically condition number 7I. This meets residential sound standards within the Western Rosedale Specific Plan. Additional noise reduction would also be provided by a 6-foot-tall concrete block wall surrounding the property and concentrated landscaping near sensitive receptors. To address traffic impacts, a trip generation analysis was evaluated by the Kern County Public Works Department. Staff determined the proposed car wash would have nominal impact in terms of increased traffic. The car wash would generally capture the existing heavy pass-by traffic on Allen Road and Rosedale Highway. Additionally, the proposed car wash would only be accessible from the northbound lane of Allen Road due to the existing median. The median will restrict access to right in, right out on site, as left turns will not be possible from southbound lanes. Any vehicle utilizing intersection turnarounds would already be existing vehicle traffic along Allen Road, traveling to existing commercial businesses to the north. Further traffic review information is described in the attached staff report, and conditions for appropriate site access and development have been included in the recommended conditions of approval. To address the environmental impacts, including mosquito populations, a recommended condition of approval will require the applicant to submit a hazardous materials plan to the Kern County Environmental Health Department to determine detailed procedures for storing items such as soaps, sealants, etc., to help prevent surrounding negative effects to the neighborhood. The applicant will be required to conduct a pre-construction survey before development to protect any unidentified protected animal and plant species and to review soil needs. The applicant will be utilizing water reclaim systems to filter and reuse water for car washes to ensure water usage is efficient. Water efficiency on site will also require plans for mosquito abatement, including vector control plans with the county to prevent standing water. Lastly, concerns were raised about the need of another car wash when there is an existing car wash facility on Rosedale Highway. The car wash in question is approximately 3/4 of a mile away from the site, east on Rosedale Highway. Business proposals in proximity to the same type of business does not prevent staff from evaluating a proposal or making recommendations. Specifically, the Western Rosedale Specific Plan does not identify requirements for the restriction of multiple similar businesses within a close proximity, as long as development standards are met. Operations, such as fast food restaurants and coffee shops, are often in close proximity and produce similar, if not higher, traffic volumes compared to the proposal, and are also permitted uses within this commercial district. As mentioned earlier, noise reduction measures were described, including recommended conditions such as condition number 7I, which discussed maintaining noise levels for the project at 45 decibels to 55 decibels. This is further described in the acoustical study. Your commission has received an addendum staff report and draft resolution this evening outlining a recommended update to condition number 7I for your review and consideration. Also, minor typo corrections were made in condition number 4G and 4H, which are all indicated in underline and strike through on the attached revised draft resolution. The proposed update to condition number 7I would include a monitoring program for the initial 30 days of operation activity to confirm noise levels are kept within 45 to 55 decibels at the surrounding property lines and sensitive receptors as indicated in the acoustical study. In the event the noise levels are above this, the applicant would be required to implement measures to reduce noise levels, including a follow-up report that would be submitted to the planning department showing the site is meeting the required noise levels 30 days after review. Specifically, condition number 7I of your revised draft resolution would now read, the car wash blower system and vacuum system shall maintain a maximum decibel level of 55 decibels at the project site property lines. At all surrounding residential receptors and at the church building, decibel level shall be maintained at a maximum of 45 decibels. The following shall be continually complied with during the operation of the project. During the first 30 days of commencement of activities, the project proponent shall monitor and submit a noise report to the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department comprising daily sound levels at every property line during the 30-day review. If the car wash system does not maintain a maximum decibel level of 55 decibels or less at the project site property lines and 45 decibels at all surrounding residential receptors and at the church building, additional measures for noise control shall be implemented. 30 days following implementation of the additional noise reduction measures, the applicant shall submit a supplemental noise report to the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department for review and approval. Upon request of the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department, the applicant shall supply a noise report demonstrating existing noise levels. Reports shall be reviewed and kept on file with the Kern County Planning Department. Should noise levels be in non-compliance, the project proponent shall submit implementation measures for review and approval of the Planning Department. If noise measures are continually not complied with, the conditional use permit shall be subject to revocation. This noted condition is more strict and detailed given the noise concern of the neighborhood and is more strict than other approved car washes in Kern County due to ongoing efforts to ensure compliance with potential noise issues. With this in mind, staff continues to believe the proposal meets the necessary findings for public health and safety, and therefore staff recommends the commission approve the conditional use permit in accordance with the revised recommended conditions and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the attached draft resolution. This concludes staff's presentation. Staff is available for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Eichenhorst. Is the project proponent here? And would you like to make some remarks? Please state your name and first name and spell your last name for the record, please.
Good evening, Chairman, Ashley, and Commission. My name is Ross Sweet, S-W-E-E-T, and I am speaking on behalf of the owner. And I work for Scarpo Frank Associates, who are the architects on the project. I think that staff did a fantastic job kind of outlining the overall sound issues with it. The owner has taken extraordinary steps to try and reduce the amount of sound coming out of the building. The proprietary blowers that we're talking about, these Predator blowers, these are technologically the most advanced blowers on the market. They're the most quiet blowers on the market. You cannot get a quieter blower than what he's proposing to put in. We pushed the building all the way down towards Allen Road due to the residential on the east side, trying to, again, be good neighbors. When we had the acoustical analysis done, we went out and took readings prior to doing any of the sound analysis for the proposed project. So readings were taken 3 times a day. This is all in the report, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to read it all. But initially, at noon, the sound level was 65 decibels just from traffic. Okay. Now, once we put our car wash here, even with all of our equipment, we have actually dropped that to 40 decibels on the east property line. So we've increased or decreased the noise level by 15 decibels already. To give you an idea of what the decimal levels is, 65 is like if somebody's standing 6 feet away from you, it's like somebody talking in a really loud voice. 40 decibels is just a little bit above a whisper. We understand we can't control everything when it comes to the sound, but we're doing our best to do that and be good neighbors. We spent almost 2 years on this project to get it to this point where we are today. And if anyone has any questions about any of that, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Sweet. We may, in fact, take you up on your offer there.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready to hear from the public now. Anybody from the public would like to speak on this project? Please come forward, state your name, and spell your last name for the record.
Good evening, Commission. My name's Annalisa Love, last name's Love. My residence is directly to the east of this proposed site, and as you can imagine, this being sharing my backyard wall, I'm greatly concerned with the noise that would come from a car wash. If approved by the commission, I would request, the county planning department did recommend a 6 to 8 foot wall there. There is an existing 6-foot wall. I would request the commission, if it's approved, to make that an 8-foot wall at a minimum. And then also Ms. Eichenhorst, did I say that right? Eichenhorst. She addressed what I was concerned about. If they did build the car wash, if it was approved, what kind of actions are in place to make sure that the noise level is what they are saying that it's going to be, and she has addressed that tonight. That's all I really have. I'm really, really concerned with the noise. I want to be able to sit in my backyard and have a conversation, enjoy my backyard. So,
Thank you, Ms. Love.
Thank you.
And thanks for also bringing up things that you'd be willing to live with. I appreciate that.
thank you.
Please come forward. Same drill, state your first name and spell your last.
My name is Steve Tedder, Tedder. I live on Black Creek Avenue across the street from Anna. My wife and 3 children have lived on Black Creek for 9 years. We've moved to this neighborhood because it was on a quiet cul-de-sac without much traffic passing by. We not only wanted this for the kids' safety with less traffic, but for the quietness factor. See, my middle child is an 11-year-old child with a special need of autism. He has extremely sensitive hearing with his special needs. Growing up, he was unable to enter public restrooms because of the noise of the dryers and the flushes. He couldn't enter auditoriums or other noisy places without headphones. He's learned to manage this a little bit better, but he still comes home and has to have his quiet time. And we don't always want him to go into his room and be all isolated. We like him to play in the yard and play with his brothers and sisters. And we want our family to continue to have a quiet neighborhood. I'm impressed with the stats on the blowers, because I know other car washes, I even measured this morning, we're up to 80 decibels. But even at 45 to 50, it's still noise. And I can't believe that an 8-foot wall would really isolate that noise. So my family needs a quiet neighborhood. My neighbors deserve a quiet neighborhood. And we don't want our property values to go down. And I ask that you would consider not approving this project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Tedder. Additional comments?
Commission, can I add something?
Sure.
The one thing I wanted to ask the project lead on this, sorry, I'll get up
Yeah,
here.
just the technicality that you mind state your name
Yeah,
again.
Annalisa Love, Love. My apologies.
No problem.
In the proposal, they said they're going to be building a new wall. There's an existing 6-foot wall there. My question for the individuals, are they going to tear down that wall? And if so, will they put up a temporary fence? Because I do have 3 dogs, and I also have an unfenced pool. So as a homeowner, I have to protect my backyard from anybody getting in there with that unfenced pool. Would they be putting something temporary up there if this did go through?
Thank you. We'll ask staff to address that in just a minute, if that's okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Other comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the hearing portion of this and go to the commission for their comments. Nothing? Dang, are you ready for a vote? Staff, why don't we, before we vote, why don't you
Sorry about that, Commissioner. Can we, I want to address Mrs. Love's condition on the wall. Can we have Mr. Sweet come back up and address that, please?
Absolutely. Same drill, Mr. Sweet, if you don't mind.
Ross Sweet.
Thank you.
The owner's willing to do whatever he needs to do to be a good neighbor. And if we have to demolish the wall, then yes, we will take care of her property, make sure it's secure. It's in the best interest of both parties to do that. So we don't have a problem doing that.
Was your plan to demo it, or are you going to leave it in place? Or what were your existing plans?
Currently, we have to assess the stability of it right now. If it is okay and there's no structural issues with it, then we'll probably just leave it in place. If there are some structural issues with it, then we'll tear it down and make it safe for everybody.
Thank you very much. And I guess building off of what you said about your client, you know, an 8-foot wall is a little different in terms of what it requires. It requires a different permitting and all that. So you're willing to go that direction if the commission were to find that way.
If you make that a condition, we are willing to do that. In fact, when we did our initial survey and submitted for our first round through the planning department, we actually had a 10-foot wall there. And planning told us no, we couldn't go that high, so.
Okay, thank you very much. May call you back up.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, one more question I guess I'd have for staff. Could you explain the difference or what it would take, and you can probably answer this as well, but I mean from our permitting process, going from 6 foot to 8 foot or 10 foot, as he had even stated that, what would be the requirements on that from the county's part?
Yes, Commissioner, I'd be happy to, through the chair. Standard 6 foot block wall can be built regularly. Generally, anything I believe over 7 feet actually requires it to be an engineered block wall. So if the commission's desire is to require an 8 foot block wall, then yes, I doubt that the existing wall will be able to remain because the 8 foot wall would have to be structurally engineered. So I would imagine, again, I'm not the engineer, but I would imagine that most likely going through that process, they would most likely need to demolish that wall, have an engineer done, and then prepare and construct an 8 foot wall. Staff was a little leery when the original 10 foot proposal was made, just simply because 10 feet sounds good, but 10 feet is 10 feet. And we didn't want to arbitrarily impose any higher wall or recommend a condition of any higher wall to the adjacent property owners that may feel 10 feet was not to their liking in terms of their property. So that is why the condition came as it was. But again, if it's your commission desire to address the concerns with Mrs. Love, yes, an 8 foot would be appropriately, and technically you could go to 10 foot if it was your commission's desire as well. We just felt that the 6 to 8 foot range was the most compatible to address all concerns and still try to keep that wall looking more of a neighborhood wall. The only other thing I would just point out here too, just because it was brought up, the existing general plan standards are 65 decibels outside, 45 decibels inside. So that is the adopted threshold when it comes to new projects that are generating noise, is that if they generate more than the 65 decibel level, then that would be considered a significant impact. It is staff's belief, you have a number of conditions that are before you on this project, that this is the most stringent and highest level of measures we have put on any car wash, just given the experience we have received over the last couple years. We believe that the direction of the car wash exit, we believe that the blowers and all the measures regarding the type of blower, the liner, will reduce those impacts and will probably be the quietest car wash we have in all of that we have permitted. With that being said, because of the proximity to the neighborhood, that is why staff is recommending this additional condition, just to help make sure that there is a procedure in place to constantly monitor, and if other precautions or measures need to be done, then we have the ability to request that analysis and work with the applicant to get those provisions taken care of. But we do believe that this is the highest level of condition we have put on a car wash, and we do appreciate the applicant understanding what the concern was and making sure that they were taking those steps to address our concern as we go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. And just to verify, the conditions that have been given to us require 45 dB at the wall, external wall of the receptor. Is that correct?
I believe it was 55 at the edge of the property.
55 at the property, yes. Okay. Okay. That's the standard. The 45 is the interior, right?
If I may add to what
Sure.
Mr. Murphy has said, normal practice is to take these sound readings from the middle of the neighbor's yard. So like it would be beyond where our wall is. So we've actually, you guys have made it more stringent on us by moving that reading to our wall instead. Normally we would be able to do the 40 or the 45 in the middle of their yard. So we're actually that much better. The other thing we have is with this Predator blower and with all the other equipment, you have to keep in mind that these readings are taken at max capacity for everything going all at once, and it's a duration issue. So there's different levels of time, and the decibel levels change over those different, there's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So this is the worst case scenario, everything running an hour straight, no stopping in the middle of it. The blowers, we can actually adjust them down if we need to. So the blowers run at max capacity. That's going to be the loudest they're going to blow. We can actually tune them down a little bit. We can also, there's other things we can do to tweak them to make them even quieter. And that's the plan with going with these blowers, was to keep things as quiet as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Sweet. That answer your question, Commissioner Oliver?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, any other commission comments, questions? Okay, I would certainly entertain a vote then. If you're ready.
Yeah. Do we need a motion?
We need a motion, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to make an motion to approve with the caveat that we actually ask for an 8-foot wall put in place prior to a 6 of the existing one to be removed, an 8-foot wall to be structured for additional sound protection for our residents that are on the other side of that.
Okay. And I think that will have the trickle-down effect as Ms. Love asked, that we kind of help manage our backyard situation. Mr. Murphy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for the record, the condition that we were talking about then is condition 6F. And what staff would be doing is we would be striking out minimum 6 foot high and maximum. Therefore, the condition would read, solid masonry wall shall be constructed, goes through property to the north, south, and east. That is 8 feet height with approved building permits. So that is the condition that we're referring to.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
And then how do we deal with Ms. Love's concerns about the technicalities of demo and security of our backyard and things like that?
I think that
is that our purview?
Mr. Sweet already addressed that he would go ahead and, but I mean, we can add that on, make it official, but he's already stated that they're willing to go ahead and put up a temporary fence, correct, Mr. Sweet? And while they're building that wall. So if we need to make that as a condition, we can do that, but.
The handshake's good enough?
It's up to you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Murphy, some guidance on this, you think?
I do believe that the issue will take care of itself on its own. However, if you would like to include phrasing similar to temporary fencing shall be installed during construction activities to ensure all residential properties are secure, we could add that to the end of that commission, or at the end of that condition.
I think that would suffice. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be
I'll make that
the
so
final
moved.
additional language that we would add to condition 6F.
And I would add that onto my motion, Mr. Murphy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
4 ayes, 1 vacant, motion carries.
Yes, this project is subject to an appeal as your action is final, so I would like to read the appeal process one more time. For projects where the commission's action is final, those actions are subject to an appeal to the Board of Supervisors by any interested person, and no development proposed by any application may be authorized until after the final date of appeal. That appeal can be filed with the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department, located at 2700 M Street, Suite 100 in Bakersfield, with the filing fee of $540 on forms that we have available at the department and on our website. That filing must be made within 14 days of and including the date of this hearing. If no appeal is received, the action of your commission is final.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Okay, next item on our agenda is one that was pulled from consent, and that is case number 5. Who's going to handle this one?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make that presentation.
Okay, Mr. Murphy, go right ahead.
And then if Ms. Hyman, if we get the aerials, I think to start would be the most appropriate map. All right, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the project before you this evening is the Cal Center Warehouse Project. Our applicant for this project is Daniel Rudnick, associated with Cal Center LLC. The project itself includes a number of actions that would specifically authorize the development of 4 logistical facility buildings with a combined gross floor area of approximately 4 million square feet. The project also includes a 21-acre solar energy microgrid to help provide electricity to the project site. The overall boundaries of the project is 255 acres, and the project does include both conditional use permits for sewage treatment and for water treatment associated with this project. So the project site in and of itself, as you can see on this aerial, is located right at the I-5 and 7 standard intersection, specifically the northwest corner, this triangular property. It's surrounding a mix of uses, primarily agricultural surrounds most of the project site. The site itself has a map code designation of 3.3, which is other facilities. It also has map code designations of 6.2 and 6.3, which are commercial designations. I would note that per the adopted specific plan, the entire general plan is designated for some type of development. In terms of existing zoning on site, this project or this site is split zoned. Portions of the project are zoned A, exclusive agricultural. Portions of the project are designated commercial highway, CHPD. And then portions of the project site are designated M1PD with light industrial. Based on my calculations, I believe that 147 acres of the site are currently designated for those types of commercial uses, leaving the remaining designated at agricultural right now. Again, most of the property surrounding the project site is all designated 8.1 by the general plan, and then of course is zoned agricultural. And there are a number of agricultural farming that takes place around the site, and agricultural farming takes place on the site as well. So the project itself is located within the administrative boundaries of the Cal Center specific plan. Staff believes that the proposed development is similar to the existing uses that were previously approved under the Certified Final Environmental Impact Report. Again, the improved project includes phased development for this logistical facility. The Semi-Tropic Water Storage District has reviewed the proposed water usage and believes that the water usage as part of this project is compatible with their adopted groundwater sustainability plans that they have in place. And again, staff does believe that the on-site renewable electricity will provide a benefit to the site, and it is estimated that approximately 90% of the project's annual electrical demand can be accompanied by this microgrid. There are a number of actions that were needed to facilitate this project. As I mentioned, the project does require some amendments to the general plan. That would be necessary to designate it to 7.3. That is the highest industrial proposed general plan designation we have. Again, there are a number of zone changes that are proposed as well. Those zone changes would implement an M3 map code designation, M3PD, on the entire site. Again, there are 2 conditional use permits proposed, 1 CUP for the construction and operation of a sewage treatment facility, and then a 2nd CUP proposed for the construction and operation of a water treatment facility. And then again, there is a PD plan before your commission that would facilitate the overall development as indicated. The anticipated construction schedule is anywhere between 12 to 18 months, and it is estimated that 2,000 employees would be utilized at this facility and have jobs based on the proposed project. The project itself, I can say this property has had a number of projects that have been proposed on it over the years. Some of them have been approved in terms of commercial developments, things along those lines. One project was actually denied. It was a proposed music festival that would be accompanied at that particular location. So the site itself, again, it's designated mostly for some sort of commercial or industrial use. The proximity and the location along I-5 and 7 Standard, when staff saw this particular proposal, we felt that it is an ideal location for this type of development, just given the major corridors of Interstate 5 and 7 Standard, as well as any of the other corridors that kind of tie off of Interstate 5 as well. So we do believe that overall the proposal, I believe, that is the best proposal that we have received on this particular site, and we do believe that it is the most compatible with the surrounding agricultural farming operations, as it's really not a sensitive use site. Most of the development, again, is logistical warehousing. They are proposing an M3 zoning designation, meaning that those types of uses are the least sensitive when it comes to trying to be good neighbors and not wanting any of the farming operations to impact the site in and of itself. Given the proximity of the corridor, staff does believe that the project itself is consistent with the adopted specific plan. We do believe that all of the conditions that are proposed will help reduce any of those impacts that we have associated with the project. We believe that the conditional use permits that are proposed are good ideas, but also necessary because we are requiring a full treatment facility for both the sewer and then the water that will not only allow for reclaiming the water and treatment, but it'll allow that not all of the water comes from groundwater or other uses, is that they will be able to reclaim some of their water usage as well to be beneficial for the overall project site. I would note that your commission did receive an addendum staff report on this particular project this evening. We received some comments from the Kern County Public Works Department, and we are proposing to include some additional conditions of approval specifically to address traffic. I think that these improvements, again, while they're necessary, I do think they help to even facilitate more compatibility between surrounding property owners and the development on the site. So I'd like to do is kind of go over some of those proposed traffic conditions. One, staff is requiring that before the project receive any building and grading permits, both 7th Standard Road and Button Willow Drive will go through a what we refer to as a calculated TI. So basically what that means is there will be an engineer that will, I believe they go through their process to figure out the structural integrity of those roads, specifically to make sure that this proposed project will not create any new trips or trucks that will damage those roads to a level that they're not ready to handle. So we do believe that going through that process will be beneficial to all the trucks that utilize those roadways, and they will make them even more structurally sound if needed. We'll determine what the existing TI is when they go through that process, and if it does require some additional reconstruction, this project will be required to do that. The project will be required to provide irrevocable offer of dedications to both 7th Standard and Button Willow Road, and will require full Type A improvement areas. So the roadway will be rebuilt, curb, gutter, sidewalk, and it will go through the process for both Button Willow and for 7th Standard. The project is proposing that the internal roadways will be private roadways and then privately maintained. From the county's perspective, we believe that this type of project, that's more beneficial. The county has over 3,000 miles of public roads that we have to maintain. Clearly, those internal roadways will provide the access and the main driveways for the proposed project facilities. So we believe that it's appropriate that the proposed facilities be required to cover the maintenance costs of ongoing improvements and maintenance of the internal roadways. So this applicant is proposing that those internal roadways be privately maintained. The project potentially, depending on the final traffic numbers and how the turn radiuses work, the project proponent, we are requiring to construct 2 signals right now. One signal would be at the intersection of Cal Center Drive and 7th Standard Road, and then the second would be at Cal Center Drive and Button Willow Drive. If for some reason the project proponent provides some additional traffic analysis that lets our staff believe that full-on traffic signals are not warranted and there are other control mechanisms that are more appropriate for the trucks utilizing the facility, they can go through and construct those. But based on the worst-case scenario, staff is requiring that traffic signals be installed at this particular time, just based on our belief that that would most likely be the required mechanism to ensure appropriate ingress and egress off of both 7th Standard Road and Button Willow Drive, considering a number of vehicles and trucks currently utilize those roads as well. I believe that I've addressed most of the conditions that staff is recommending be included that were provided. We do believe that overall this is an appropriate location for this type of development, and we are recommending that your commission recommend to the Board of Supervisors that the project be approved. After you've taken your public comments and I've heard from your commission regarding your comments regarding the project, at that time I'll be prepared to provide you with a motion based on those projects, or both based on those comments and the feedback that you receive. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to provide any clarifications if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. So first, we'll give our project proponent an opportunity to speak if you'd like to. Have you go through the drill of stating your name and spelling your last for the record, please.
Very happy to do that. My name is Daniel Rudnick, R-U-D-N-I-C-K, and as Mr. Murphy said, my family is the owner of this property, and we're the ones that are proposing the development. We think it's the right project in the right place. Kern County is now becoming a major logistics hub in this part of California. We're right on the 5. If you look at, Interstate 5 runs through the west side of Kern County. It's really been underutilized by property owners in the valley, in our county. I mean, it's away from most people. It's the main north-south corridor between the Mexican border and the Canadian border. The future of logistics is Interstate 5, probably not 99, although there's still projects being proposed there, and I'm sure there'll be additional ones built there in the future. But really the future for California and all this freight movement that's driven by the ports of LA Long Beach is looking very much like I-5 is going to be the future of logistics and warehousing in this part of California, and we're right there at the center of it. We call it Cal Center because when we bought the ranch in 1985, there used to be a monument very close to there, not too far away, that said this is the population center of California. And it's moved a little bit, maybe to the south and a little bit to the east, but we're still in the middle of everything. And so we're very excited about the project. We built in a lot of designs and conditions. We've been able to agree to just about everything proposed by the planning department, and it's made it a better project. There's one other thing is that we're also, one of the conditions is that we make an annual payment before building permits are issued of $300,000 a year to fund a paramedic, a whole paramedic team and the paramedic equipment for the community of Buttonwillow. Evidently, we heard that they've been trying to get some grant money and some other things. They've been having trouble doing that, and that was recommended to us as a community benefit that would really enhance the community benefits, in addition to the property tax revenue, in addition to the employment and the trickle-down effect of all those positive economic impacts. And so we're very excited about it. And I'm very excited to see it move forward, and been waiting a long time to get here tonight, quite frankly. So I'm ready to answer any questions from anybody, any of you commissioners, or anybody else.
Thank you, Mr. Rudnick. We may take you up on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're ready to hear from the public about this.
On behalf of the opponent, of the applicant?
You can speak on anything you want.
Yeah,
As long as it's pertinent to this project, I'll put it that way.
My name is Philip Rudnick. I'm the one responsible for Daniel, partly. First of all, Craig mentioned that some years ago, almost a decade, I think, we had an initiative to do a music festival. And our good neighbors thought that might not be the right place for the project. And the commission agreed with them, and the board agreed with them. And we agreed with them. We didn't go through the appellate process. We didn't go to the voters. We recognized the concern of our neighbors. And it's been a long time, but we're very pleased to be able to bring this project, because in the process of doing this, we found what we thought was the best fit for our neighbors, not only because of the lack of interruption, but because of the future benefit for them and their own property, because farming is somewhat like the oil industry. There could be a sunset to some of it. So we appreciate any questions you might have, and as a family, we're very pleased to be able to, I think, bring a very important project to the county, providing significant jobs in an area where people live, and hopefully improve our community.
Thank you, Mr. Rudnick. You didn't need Daniel to come talk about it. You could have just talked about it, huh? Appreciate you. Any other comments? Come on up.
Opposition? Is that okay?
Yeah, anytime. Come on up. State your name and spell your last name for the record, please.
My name is Daniel Paula. My last name is spelled P-A-L-L-A. Even though this is zoned currently for commercial, even though it's a zone commercial, it is currently farmed. We would like it to stay in agriculture to protect domestic food production. We have been farming on the west side, the whole west side, and all of the fields on all of those up and down that whole side. and then everything on the northeast side across the freeway. We've been doing that for 70 years. This would disrupt our operation in just the increased presence of people will cause increased trespassing and littering, which could become a food safety hazard. If you do approve this project, we would request that you put a limit of 3 years on the project. They've had previous projects approved for commercial and it never happened. And we have future planting plans on some of our fields, and we would just like to be able to make future decisions according to this project and just have a time limit that he doesn't sit on this project for decades again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Other comments? All right, seeing none, we'll now close the public hearing portion and we'll go to the commission for their comments and questions, motions, whatever the pleasure is.
I have a question for staff. I've been kind of looking through, trying to identify if there's specific Caltrans recommendations on and off ramps for the I-5, and I couldn't find anything specific.
Commissioner Skidmore, through the chair. We do not have any specifically proposed right now for these on or off ramps, but John Schuler, the project engineer who prepared the traffic study, is in attendance, and I believe that that is an appropriate question to ask Mr. Schuler at this particular time.
Great.
We could have Mr. Schuler come up, we could hear from him.
Hi, my name is John Schuler, spelled S-C-H-U-L-E-R. We prepared the traffic study. To my knowledge, we have not received any comments from Caltrans. We did analyze the ramps, and they appear to be adequate.
Perfect. Thank you.
That answer your question?
That was it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Other questions, comments? Okay. Hearing none, I would certainly entertain a motion.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Since I didn't read you a motion, let me read you a proposed motion, and then your commission can decide whether or not.
Okay, I got it.
Just for out of curiosity, so I do believe that a standard 3-year process for implementation of the PD plan is appropriate. Any further than that, without going through an extension of time process, we usually don't do that. Usually 3 years is the maximum we do when it comes to some of these projects. I think we have done 5 years for some of our solar projects. Do you have a preference, your commission, in terms of the time frame in terms of which the PD plan would need to be? It doesn't mean to be initiated, is really how the term it is that they need to initiate project within a period of time. Do you have a decision on what you would like me to incorporate into the recommendation?
I'll bet we have an opinion one way or the other. Mr. Oliver?
Yeah, I think that in any kind of development projects like that, when we've had a history of other things that have happened or been proposed, approved, or disapproved, that, if we do approve it correctly or whatever with the suggestion of staff, that we do put a limit on this so that it is moved forward and we're not waiting for forever to make this happen.
I was going to recommend the 3-year recommendation.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, yeah.
I agree with 3 year. Okay, I'll start with that and then you can go from there. So based on all the comments, the staff recommendation was be to advise the Planning Commission to recommend the Board of Supervisors adopt the Section 15091 findings of fact, Section 15093 statement of overriding consideration, approve the amendment to the land use element of the Cal Center specific plan as requested, enact ordinance and adopt resolution approving the zone change as requested, approve conditional use permits subject to recommended conditions, approve precise development plan subject to recommended revised conditions, and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the draft resolution. Initial PD authorization would be for a 3-year period of time. That would be the recommendation.
Is that consistent with what you're thinking?
Yeah, I would say that's great. I mean, I enjoy a great music festival, but I think this is a good one, and we'll just put a 3-year limit on, it'll be fine.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor, or a proposed motion. I guess we need a motion and second on that one.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll propose a motion stated by staff with the addition verbiage of the 3-year limit put in place.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
3 ayes, 1 vacant. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is a recommendation, so no right to appeal. Is that correct, Mr. Murphy?
That is correct. And then if Mr. Paula wants to come touch base with me afterwards, I will make sure that I have his contact and address information so that when the hearing notice for the board goes out, just to confirm that he is on it so he knows exactly what date it will be considered by the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Mr. Paula, if you don't mind doing that, and make sure you're adequately notified. That brings us to our favorite part of the agenda, which is adjournment. Unless there's any opposition, you guys have a great evening. See you in a couple weeks.
I'll motion.
Oh. I knew Lauren was going to
I'm ready.
oppose that
I'll
problem.
motion.
I'll make second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.